Welcome to Change is Simple's online learning. My name's Dom. I'm one of the lead educators here at Change is Simple. Change is Simple is a nonprofit that teaches students about climate education and sustainability. Instead of lectures and textbooks, we inject games, activities, curiosity, and creativity right into their classrooms. Our curriculum empowers students to make a difference in their world. We educate about 7,000 students right in their classrooms every year. Now, you can join us right here online for a new series of fun-filled activities that you can do right at home with all of your friends here at Change is Simple. Hi everyone, welcome back to Change is Simple's online learning. Today we're going to continue with our virtual field trips. Today Ethan and I are going to be paddling up the Ipswich River to explore what this awesome ecosystem has to offer. We're going to be taking a look at some wildlife and plants that live in and around the river. This river is a crucial part of the watershed. Upriver here, there's a canal that feeds into Wenham Lake, which is a water source for a ton of towns in the area. On our paddle, we're going to be taking a look at how that affects the river. Now, follow along with us on this paddle and see what cool things we'll find on our way. I hope you guys enjoy.
Now, as you navigate down the Ipswich River, we're going to come across a bunch of different obstacles. Now, our first obstacle we have here is a bridge. This bridge is actually where the commuter rail passes over the Ipswich River. So to get through it, we're going to have to paddle underneath and to get across to the other side. Now, as we go underneath, the current gets pretty fast and we're going upriver, so we're going to have to paddle super carefully to get under this bridge. Now what we have here is a perfect example of beaver activity. So you can tell right here, this little cutaway, is where a beaver has made a path from a dam that it's built out here into the main river. Now we've just gone a little ways up the river and we found another perfect example of beaver activity. This is a tree that a beaver actually tried to gnaw through and knock over. But you can tell by the chew marks, all the wood chips we find here, and even these logs that are left alongside clearly show that a beaver has been munching down on these trees. These beavers are one of the many species you'll find living along the banks of the Ipswich River. They cut down these trees to build beaver dams and lodges which serve as their homes. What we have here is a perfect example of an old beaver lodge. And you can tell they've piled up the sticks all along here. And the cool part about this beaver lodge, while it's not active anymore, you can see where they made their entrance. And they go into the lodge, and inside is a hollowed out area in the sticks where they're protected, and they can have their young and eat and do all that cool stuff right here in the lodge. Really cool.
Cool stuff.
Now what we have here is another example of a hazard you'll find as you try to navigate up the river. Now what happened here is a tree fell across the river and created a blockage which caught a bunch of other sticks and logs. Now what this does is it makes the river a little bit smaller, creates a smaller channel, and that means the river is going to flow faster through that area. So we want to make sure we're accounting for the change of the river's speed as we try to navigate through these hazards.
Alright, we've had our first casualty. Ethan was unable to maneuver over the rocks and took a little spill. It's okay.
Now as you look along the banks of this river, you can see they're really steep. This has to do with erosion of the river. So in the springtime when the river really flows and it has a lot more water, it can erode the banks of the river. But because all these trees are here and their roots are holding in the banks. Now if we were to cut down all these trees, nothing would stop the river from eating up all that soil all along the banks and collapsing the bank into the river. But because these trees are here holding in all that soil, the river won't get super eroded.
Alright, here we found a log with a very defined water line on it, showing how high the water used to be in the river. Now, because of all the snow melt, the water's extra high in the spring. And since the river is a crucial part of the watershed, we always take water out of it throughout the summer. So when the summer comes, you'll see the river get lower and lower and lower.
Alright. So right now we've hit our third obstacle. The river is super shallow, so we had to walk our boards. It's only about just past my ankle deep. It doesn't get any deeper, so you're gonna have to get off your board and walk it, or take the fin off.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the back of my board because the fin is rubbing against the ground. Recommend if you do get off your board, maybe have some water shoes with you. You don't know what could... What's up? You don't know what's on the bottom of the river, so it's always good to protect your feet.
If you want to look back at me right now, you can tell that the water is barely even covering my feet. That's how quickly it got super shallow.
Alright, so we're getting some open water here. Gonna hop back on our boards. Alright, so in this part of the river, we ran into some shallow water that's running pretty quickly. So what we've done is taken our fins off and we've gone to our knees. It's a little easier to maneuver and we won't be hitting the bottom as much. As you can see, Ethan's slowly making his way through the mini rapids. Just a beautiful place to be paddling. So cool, we just spotted a white-tailed deer by the river's edge. Alright, so we've encountered another spot on the river where we had to get off our board and just walk in a little ways up. But this is a really cool spot to stop and show you guys some plant life that's growing in the river. So we have some river plants growing that you can see underneath the water. And what's really cool about them is in certain parts of the river, you can't really see the water flowing. Where if you look down at the plants, you can see that they're really being taken with the currents. And another cool thing that you can find amongst these plants is our river clams. These little clams that you might think only live in the ocean, usually where you find clams, but these are a cool species of river clam that you can find right here in the Ipswich River.
One of the coolest species that live here on the Ipswich River is the river otter. We've keeping our eyes open this entire journey to try to find one, but we haven't seen one yet. Oh, wait a minute, what's that? It looks like two river otters right over there.
You can see in the woods right there another little game trail. Animals probably use that to come down to the river. Alright guys, thank you for joining us on our field trip today on the Ipswich River. This was a super cool ecosystem to explore. There's so much it has to offer, and the even cooler thing about it is that it feeds our watershed. Most of the water from this river will come out in your homes if you live in North Shore of Massachusetts. Now, if you would like to experience what it's like on the river or any other rivers or the ocean around your house, Change is Simple is actually going to be renting these paddleboards this summer. They are inflatable paddleboards that are super, super easy to transport. They fit right in this backpack, and in this backpack, you'll get everything. You'll get a pump, you'll get a fin, you'll get a leash, and you'll get a paddle. You can fit a few of them in a car. It's super easy. I have a small car and I can fit about 4 of them in there. So if you have a larger family, it's a perfect activity to do. And I'll just show you guys real quick how easy it is to deflate them. So you just wait for that air to come out, you roll it up, and it fits nicely in this backpack. It's an awesome thing to be able to do this summer and explore other ecosystems around your house. If you're not near the Ipswich River, I'm sure there's super cool things that you can do around right where you live. So I hope you enjoyed this spring's Change of Simples online learning. Have a good summer.